Hey folks, Ivan Joseph here, Vice Provost Student Affairs at Dalhousie University. Coming to you here from Halifax. I'm going to be sharing with you my recipe of, we'll call it Dr. Ijo's famous chili. All right? So before we begin, I want to share with you kind of what you will need in order to make this recipe go. So first of all, your utensils. Teaspoon. Make sure you distinguish the difference between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. The teaspoon is the smallest one. All right? Knife. Not too sharp, not too dull, but to chop your vegetables. Frying pan, preferably the non-stick type. Notice that I have wooden spatula elements. The worst thing you can do is use metal in your fancy, nice frying pan and scratch it all up, and then you ruin the stick, all right? Now, what kind of ingredients? Clearly, you need some beans. I use red beans, dark red, PC Blue Menu, really cheap. Can of tomatoes, right? Just nice diced tomatoes. You don't have to do any of the cutting. Of course, chili powder. Now, I got a secret for you. 3 teaspoons of chili powder. For some of you, just regular chili powder is fine. I like to mix my 3 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 of this, and 1 a little spicy. But if you don't like it spicy, I get you. Just go with the 3 regulars, all right? And 1 basil leaves. Those are the spices. Finally, to your vegetables. Very simple. 2 garlic cloves. 1 onion. All right? Last and final thing, your ground beef. So your package of ground beef, you can get anywhere from $6 to $11. This much ground beef here, what is that? Almost a pound, is it? Half a pound, half a kilogram? It will give you about 4 to 5 meals, heavy, hearty, lumberjack meals of chili out of this. All right, let's begin. Let's go over to the cutting board and begin our chopping of the vegetables, shall we? All right, hey folks, so over here, I'm over by the vegetables, getting ready to cut. I just want to give you a little bit of knife safety etiquette, all right? Sharp knife, always be careful. You want to hold the knife like this. Notice I don't have my finger over the top, right? I have my finger right here, right up by the bridge. I take my onion, put it flat. I've already peeled the edges. I cut off the ends already. And I cut that right down the middle, right? Take that, and I'm just gonna put those both in the halves, and I'm just gonna cut them. Notice how my fingers are? I'm just cutting it up and down, up and down, up and down. All right? I'm not in any hurry. What I wanna make sure I don't cut off my fingers, is that I am making sure that my fingers are far away. When I have it like there, I just turn it the other direction because I'm gonna dice my onions. I'm gonna cut it again. You decide how you like your onions. Big, small, little squares, big squares, whatever you want those to be like. I leave that to you. I do half an onion, sometimes I do a full onion. It really depends on the mood that I'm in that day, on what kind of onion I'm gonna do. But you see how it is? I have that, again, I don't want to do too many things. Same cutting board. I slide my onions over to the side. I get my garlic and I do the same process. Now you'll see the garlic is way smaller, way smaller. So I want to take the garlic and just with my 2 little fingers, now I'm going to be really careful here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just mincing the garlic and it's like little pieces, like almost like tiny little pennies, right? I'll take it horizontal and again, I'll do the same thing. My second clove of garlic, again, holding it with my fingers, doing the same thing. Notice when it gets close to my fingers how slow I am. Again, I am not a famous chef. I value my fingers. I want to go slow. That's it. It's gonna burn down in there. It's gonna cook in. So no worries. The next thing is, let's put these into our pan and see where we go from there. Folks, so, we've done the vegetables, we're now back and it's now finally time to start cooking. I realized that I had forgotten to tell you that you need a little olive oil. Just a little oil to put in the pan, heat that pan up, and that's where you get your vegetables in. And you should always have a little bit of table salt as well, all right? So, a dab of olive oil, not a lot, just a little bit. You put it in there and let that pan heat up for 2 or 3 minutes. And how will you know it's heated up? Just 1, 2, 3. If you can feel your heat on your hand after 1, 2, 3, that pan is good. You might take your wooden spatula or your plastic spatula and just move it around. Here, I don't turn my stove up all the way up, but I usually put it to 7 or 8, and I want to put my onions in there first. All right? You can hear my dog. Oh, a good sizzle tells you that your pan is nice and hot. All right? Now, if you've done your job right here are these onions, they look white. I like to cook them first just to get them fried down, and I cook them in this, or fry them, till they're about translucent. I don't want them all the way done because I'm gonna add ground beef, I'm gonna add other things. I just wanna cook them to the point where they start to feel like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. While this is cooking, right, I got my oil in there. I don't want it to burn, so I'm paying attention, right? If you feel like it's burning and sticking, turn your heat down, add a little bit more oil. Okay, again, olive oil, that will be working fine. Then I take my red beans, I can open them up at this time. I'm gonna head over to the sink and then just drain them. You don't want a lot of that water and that juice in there, so I just drain that, get it ready for the time that it's right. Okay, come back. Oh yeah, smelling that juicy, nice onion. I know I've got enough oil in there because I'm keeping my onions going, nothing's burning. Don't get distracted and want to go watch TV, turn on your Star Trek, or go talk to your Game Boy. When you're cooking, stay inside. Stay inside, be focused to it, because this is an important step. You burn your onion, nothing tastes worse than burnt, dry onion. All right? So keep it going, keep it, I want to mix it up so the tops are always, it's not always the same ones on the bottom of the pan enjoying the heat. Oh man, this is so good, folks, that you guys are going to wonder what took you so long to cook this chili. And I can see them starting to brown up. Now I might turn up my heat just a little bit now. Really start to smell it. Now the magic of editing might just take this all the way to the done, but I gotta be patient. You don't want to. I got fans. I got people in the audience. I don't want to rush this. I don't want them to say what the heck, and then they bite into a crunchy onion. So this is where your patience, right? You got your guests coming over. You got your partner. You got somebody you're trying to impress. A meal is a good way to work their way into their hearts. Woo! How will you know that the onions are done? They become soft. They become a little translucent. That's when you'll know, right? It's like, okay, these are coming close. And remember that you're still going to add other things to this, so they don't have to be all the way done. But when you start to see them getting clear, no longer just white and solid, then you know you're moving in the right direction. Right about now, I wish I only added half an onion because there's a lot of onion to cook. All right, so now I got my onion in there. I'm gonna say it's halfway done. I'm now gonna add my ground beef. Notice I still got my garlic. I'm not adding that yet. Garlic just at the very end. I'm gonna add my ground beef right in the middle of that pan. Hear that sucker sizzle. You take my same spatula, I'm gonna chop that sucker up. I wanna get that in there. I don't want any clumps. And I want to brown this, all right? I want to brown this meat up. And again, just like the onions, I'm going to be paying attention, right? If I find it sticking to the pan, then you know what I'm going to need here? I'm going to need to add some olive oil. If it's not sticking, then I'm fine. I may need to just adjust the temperature. Let's see what I'm doing here, just chopping it up, chopping it down. My goal is to make as much of this meat touch the bottom of that pan as possible. You notice how I got as big a frying pan as possible? If you get too small a frying pan, everything's on the top, and it doesn't get to brown. You don't want too small a frying pan. Get the biggest frying pan that you can get. It makes your cooking so much easier. It makes the meat cook quicker because it's not a thick piece of meat that you're working with. It's a flat piece of meat. I got my onions in there, and this is why, you don't have to cook your onions all the way to finish, because now it's going to still be cooking as my meat is cooking. And if you look there, you can see that meat browning up, and it's looking good. Make sure my onions are coming in there. Now, as this meat continues to cook, now I'm gonna add my spice. Okay, chili powder, 2 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons. Oh, brand new chili powder. Look at that. This is just the regular kind. This is what this is what, for my Nova Scotia friends. They're not known for the, they're not known for their hot palates. Oh, my friend Mashuk is putting his hand up too, so it's not just the Nova Scotians, it's some of the internationals. A little bit right on that. Now I want 1 extra spoon, put a little bit of that in there, it fell over. I want what's known as Caribbean hot chili, which is also McCormick chili powder, which is the one I use. Now this one you'll know it's hot because it has a little, got a little chili pepper right there. It says hot. So I'm like, okay, put a little bit of that in there. Again, 1 more. Again, over the pan, so if I miss, it all falls into the pan. So, all right, and put that all in there. Woo! Look at that. It's starting to smell and look like chili. I'll say hello. Now make sure you're really working hard at mixing all that chili in there. Mixing that sauce in there. Mixing that sauce in there. Little piece jumped out. Put that little sucker back in there. Getting those pieces nice and small. And again, you'll load it. Now you don't even see those onions, do you? You're probably thinking way too many onions. All right, let's take our garlic. Put that in there. Now that I've got it browned up, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. From a 9 or 8, I'll probably turn it down to a 7 or a 6. Right? I'm going to take my diced tomatoes. In it goes. Chili needs diced tomatoes. Oh, listen to how that just settled everything down. Oh yeah. I'm going to take my red beans. Chili without red beans is like beans without hamburger. I don't know. It's like something. It's like something. It's like, I don't know what it's like, but you gotta have red beans, all right? Then, settled everything down. Now I'm just gonna put that in there and let it mix. Okay? Remember what I said? Your basil? I'm gonna put my basil in there. 1 teaspoon. Sprinkle that in there. This is an important ingredient. Don't lose home and leave sight of it. And then, I forgot to tell you that we use salt at the beginning. I didn't have it. I like kosher salt. It's a different salt. And I put, again, 1 teaspoon. Some might like less, some might like more. You season to taste, but there's 1. And again, 1 teaspoon. Just put those sauces in there. I just put that garlic in there. I'm gonna let this season up. Let this cook up. I got my stove on what's known as a 7. For me, that's a simmer. I want to just let this kind of cook in there and simmer in there. All these juicy flavors, all that nice aroma. I'm gonna mix it up. I fried everything up. I browned my meat. I've taken the care to put some good spices in there. And while that simmers, I'm just gonna relax, turn on my Star Trek Voyager, maybe clean up a little bit, wash my cans, put them in the recycling, get my chips ready, because I like to eat mine with some corn chips, maybe grate a little cheese, maybe just eat it plain like this. You know, I'm from the Caribbean, so we love to eat our chili with rice. Maybe I'll put a pot of rice in, but you'll see how much this makes. I'm gonna get my Tupperware ready, and this is gonna feed me all week. All right? The entire meal, this is about, it'll give you about 5 meals, which is about $20 for all these ingredients. So that's basically you're eating 5 great meals for about $4 a meal. I don't think you can go wrong, folks. Well, that's it. It's Cooking with Ivan Joseph, Vice Provost Student Affairs, Dalhousie University of Halifax. Maybe as we close down, we'll show you some B-roll of us enjoying a great meal with family and friends. But during these uncertain times and while you're locked down in the residence halls or where you're at home, wherever you may be, stay safe and stay well. And we look forward to seeing you again when we get back to normal. Take care, folks. All the best.